Welcome to Sports Geek Throwback. Here's your host, the sports geek himself, Sean Callanan.
G'day, I'm Sean Callanan from Sports Geek and welcome to Sports Geek Throwback, where I pick out the best bits from the Sports Geek podcast archive. For this week's Sports Geek Throwback, I go back to episode 93 with Greg Oakford, published in July 2015. Greg was at Golf Victoria at the time. He is now GM of Upside as he has immersed himself in the world of crypto and Web3. Remember, if there's a way I can help you, please reach out. We work with digital teams, marketing teams, sponsorship teams to help sports build revenue. We do that using the digital to dollars process. In this throwback episode, Greg and I discuss the value of connecting with your peers across the globe. Remember, you can listen to the full episode at sportsgeekhq.com/93. Enjoy.
In a team sport and a rivalry sport, it does. I think it fits because you are, if you're talking about fan engagement, you're talking about fan engagement of your fans, and Dwayne comes from the experience of the LA Kings and the tweets that they did around their Stanley Cup run, which their fans loved and everyone hated. He's not selling tickets and merch to the people who don't like the Kings, but you still have to have lines around how far is too far. Does this fit for our brand and that kind of thing? And that's where it was good to have that discussion of a bit of backwards and forwards with people like Melissa at the Jets and Andrew Nicholson from the Kings, because it doesn't fit for everybody. No, not everyone can be this bold and brash. And even Dwayne said himself that it's a different feel in Portland. They are the big team in town. They weren't. We're at their position in their market a lot differently than the Kings are. So it's a matter of finding your own voice. But it's always good to have that conversation with people, to know they're having the same problems. And that's the thing for me at Seat. Once you dive into the conversations and you go, you're having similar issues and at different scale. At Golf Victoria, you're a small team, but then you go and talk to some of the NCAA, the college teams, and they are running super lean operations. Yes, they might have a swag of students to work for them, but the actual people who are fully in charge, they're running with one to three people and servicing just as big a market as some of these pro teams.
And that was another interesting point about Seat. And, you bring up the NCAA and seeing how some of their operations are run so lean. But even someone like, I think I've got his... Greg's just reaching for the business card over here on the desk. But Danny Martinez, who's one of the social media managers for the Miami Heat, who I spent a little bit of time with yesterday, and just I think they have something like 16, 17 million Facebook followers, and obviously their other platforms are just as enormous as well. Yep. And I think there's two people that work those platforms, and so you're thinking Miami Heat, one of the biggest sporting brands in the world, and they get hammered during the season. So it was really interesting to see the faces behind the platforms.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing. I mean, from a resourcing point of view, I think, 2 or 3 are probably needed to manage a lot of social, at a league level. With the AFL and the NRL, they'll run a, staggered scheduled, so people are covering on weekends and stuff. But you can normally cover all the bases in that space. But it's just a matter of then what can you do around the edges, and that's important.
If you like this Sports Geek Throwback episode, please check out the full episode at sportsgeekhq.com. Please share Sports Geek with your sports business colleagues. We appreciate you sharing. We love working with podcast listeners. Please get in touch so we can help your team. Go to sportsgeekhq.com/phone call. All Sports Geek episodes are available at sportsgeekhq.com and all podcast platforms.